I grew up in a Christian household. It was just me, my mom, and my dad. I was the only child. And right from the start, actually, right when I was born, my dad was diagnosed with cancer. And so it was kind of like I guess, a different kind of childhood than most may have experienced. I remember spending a lot of time in hospitals. I didn't really think much of it. And then I guess fast forward till fourth grade is when my dad passed. They pretty much knew it was going to happen. It was just a matter of when. And I didn't really understand, I don't think, for the most part, through that whole time, really what that could mean to me, because I felt like I didn't even really get to really know who he was, and I still almost felt kind of estranged to him. And even though I was in fourth grade, I obviously loved him, but I didn't really feel like I got to know who he really was. So I kind of just kept living life like, okay, like I guess this is kind of what God throws at me, so I guess I just get through it. And so I guess it was about, I'd say like 6th or 7th grade, where Mom and I started really kind of butting heads over just things in general. Friends, staying out, going out, not letting her know where I'm at. And so we kind of started battling around with that, and we were arguing a lot. And it was a somewhat rough time. She started kind of dating other people, looking to remarry, and I met a lot of different guys, and I'd kind of get to know them, and then they'd stop dating, and then it was like I didn't see them again. So it kind of tossed in a lot of ambiguity kind of between our relationship, I feel like, until I guess 8th grade. She remarried, and the guy ended up not being what we thought he was, and so the marriage didn't even last a full year. I think they got divorced like 6 months in, and so that was rough. I had a lot of anger toward my mom through that whole time, because I didn't really understand what the circumstances were regarding that. And that anger eventually started getting channeled more through more rebellion into my freshman, sophomore, junior years of high school. Going out, kind of partying, party scene, drink. Pot was a big thing for me. I never really got into that much past it, but pot was a pretty big deal for me. I liked the way it made me feel, and so pretty soon I found myself around it all the time, and my mom really didn't like that. She caught me who knows how many times with it, and each time it kind of added a little bit more powder to the bomb. It kind of eventually just ignited my senior year, and that was when I moved out. I stayed with a friend for the entirety of my senior year, and in the course of that time, Mom and I didn't speak at all. I just kind of kept going to school and got a job, mostly to pay for the drugs that I wanted to buy and the alcohol I wanted to use. And that kind of vamped up a little bit until I started selling it a little bit here and there, and that kind of kept escalating and escalating until finally I found myself in the middle of just constant running here and there, trying to sell this and that, and get a job, and go to school all at the same time. And then I graduated high school, and it was kind of like the entire time I had been there, I didn't really think past high school at all. I applied to college, and I got into Oklahoma University, but I didn't really think about what that would really mean for me or what I really wanted out of that. And so the summer of my senior year, I remember being at a friend's house, and we were just kind of doing the normal thing, playing around, doing whatever, and I just felt kind of bad, like just like a bad day type of thing. And I remember just talking to my friend like, well, I'm just gonna go home and I'll see tomorrow. Like, I'm just not feeling that good today. And then that feeling never let up. And pretty soon, I found myself in a really, really the darkest place in my life ever, and that was into depression. I found myself pretty much staying in bed all day over that entire course of that summer, staying in bed, constant, just crying almost all the time about I didn't even know what. And it never let up. It was like there was just this dark black cloud over me for the entirety of that whole summer. And it was the longest summer it felt like that I've ever experienced. It was just this, like, time just went in slow motion that entire period. But through the course of that, I started talking to my mom a little bit again, letting her know where I was, what was going on with me. And so after a couple weeks of just seeing her, going to lunch and telling her about what I was going through, I was able to move back in. And as soon as I did, I had no more real, after experiencing the love that she was able to show me by letting me back into the house after just this horrible relationship between the both of us that was both of our faults, but definitely I carried a lot of that blame, the majority of it. I had no inclination to want to go back to smoking or drinking away any of my problems. And it was through that time where I was back home that she started talking to me about, my faith really again, which had always been there but never really taken seriously throughout that whole period. It was like, I didn't disbelieve God, but I believed that God that was watching all this unfold was so far away and so distant that I didn't want anything to do with him anyway. And it was through that time back at home that I really started getting back into my prayer life. A prayer here and there, open up the Bible, read something random. And it was slow. It was definitely slow. I expected, some kind of miracle right off the bat through it. But I just kept doing it, and I don't even really know why. I kept just praying, even though it didn't feel like I was praying to anything. And I kept reading the Bible, even though all of it seemed so vague and really just distant that it had nothing to do with me. But I kept that up,